Your latest time expired. Mr. Gowdy, 5 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Gentlemen, thank you for coming today. I had some specific questions I wanted to ask you, and if I have time at the end, I will. But there's been a theme on both sides of the aisle that I want to try to synthesize a little bit and see if we can get some clarity on it. At various points this afternoon, one or more of you have used words like authentic, accurate, misinformation, and disinformation. But at the same time, at least one of you has said you're not an arbiter of the truth. And I'm trying to reconcile how you can have disinformation or misinformation and not be an arbiter of the truth. So I guess, Mr. Stretch, we can start with you because you said you're not an arbiter of the truth. If that is true, then what is disinformation?
Disinformation we think of as inaccurate information spread with malicious intent by a foreign actor, and that would not be permitted on our platform. We don't need to decide whether the information itself is true or false to try to rid our platform of that. We don't want foreign actors masquerading as something they're not in order to speak on politically divisive issues in this country. That's easy.
So if I understand you right, if the actor is not authentic, then the content, whether it's accurate or not, is immaterial.
That's correct.
All right. And why would that analysis only be appropriate for foreign actors? Why would that not be appropriate for, I mean, there's been some discussion of voter suppression. There's also something called information suppression. I don't know how people benefit from demonstrably false information. So if that's the analysis for foreign actors, why would that also not be the appropriate analysis, period, across your platforms?
That is our policy across our platform. So everyone who shows up to Facebook is required to be their authentic self, and most fake account activity is local to the country.
Those are two different things. I can be my authentic self and say today is Thursday. And what are you going to do with that?
We believe that you be permitted to say that.
Under what Constitution, do you think the Constitution protects intentionally false statements?
Sir, we are trying to provide a platform for authenticity.
I'm with you. If we could just, I assume you're a lawyer. I know your colleague to my right, your left, is a former AUSA, and I appreciate your service there. I assume all of you are lawyers, or you wouldn't have the jobs that you have. So is it constitutionally protected to utter an intentionally false statement?
So it depends on the context, but there is recent Supreme Court precedent on that. On Facebook.
On which side? That it is or is not?
That it is in most cases protected. However, on Facebook, our job is not to decide whether content is true or false. We do recognize that false news is a real challenge. The way in which we're addressing it is by trying to disrupt the financial incentives of those who are profiting from it, which is where most of it comes from. Most of the fake news problem is coming from low-quality websites that are trying to drive traffic on every side of every issue. And by disrupting the financial incentives, we're able to limit the distribution. We're also trying to make sure that users do know when a story has been disputed by a neutral third party and alerting users to that fact. I'll stop there.
Well, I'm smiling only because on the last break, a couple of my colleagues and I were wondering who those neutral fact checkers are. And I really do appreciate your desire to want to have a neutral fact checker. If you could let me know who those folks are, I'd be really grateful because people in my line of work might take exception with the neutrality of some of the fact checkers. So if I understand you correctly, the authenticity of the speaker is very important. The accuracy of the content, less so.
That's how we approach it. That's exactly right.
All right. For the life of me, I do not understand how a republic is served by demonstrably, provably, intentionally false information. And I get it that you don't want to be the arbiter of opinion. I don't want you to be either. But today's not Thursday. So if I say it is, I swear I don't understand how my fellow citizens benefit from me telling them something that is demonstrably false, and I am saying it with the intent to deceive. For the life of me, I don't get it, but I'm out of time.
Gentleman's time expired. Several